George Parr, you are an investment banker.
I am, yes.
Yes. And as such, you have your fingers right on the pulse of the financial market.
Yeah, very much so, yes.
And during the summer, there's been a great deal of turbulence and volatility
in the market, yes. Tremendous, yes, tremendous.
Yes, and what has caused that?
Well, you have to remember two things about the markets. One is that they are made up of very sharp and sophisticated people who, these are the greatest brains in the world. And the second thing you have to remember is that the financial markets, to use the common phrase, are driven by sentiment.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Well, things, let's say, are just going along as normal in the market, and then suddenly, out of the blue, one of these very sharp and sophisticated people says, "My God, something awful's going to happen! We lost everything. Oh, my God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do?"
Shall I jump out of the window?
Shall I jump out of the window? Exactly. Let's all jump out of the window.
Sell!
We've lost a sell!
Sell! Yes.
Precisely.
Yes.
Precisely. And then a few days later, this same sophisticated person says, "You know, I think things are going rather well." And everybody says, "Yes, I agree with you. I think we're rich. We're rich." Yes.
Rich.
Yes.
Bye.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's what we call market sentiment.
Well, yes. Surely we are exaggerating just a bit, aren't
well,
we?
I don't know. I mean, in August, in the middle of August this year, when the market absolutely plunged in London, a well-known city firm, State Street Global Markets, issued a statement in which it said, and I quote, "Market participants don't know whether to buy on the rumour and sell on the news, do the opposite, do both, or do neither, depending on which way the wind is blowing," unquote.
Yes, and this is the kind of rigorous analysis the companies will pay huge salaries for.
Yes, exactly. And a few days later, when the markets had gone up a little bit, the senior equities advisor on ABM Ambro Morgan said, and I quote, "We're back to happy days again."
Well, no price is too high for that kind of mature wisdom,
certainly
is it?
The reason this sort of people are paid millions of pounds in bonuses.
Yes, of course. During this summer, there have been actual causes behind the volatility in the markets, haven't there? I mean, specifically and especially in America, granting vast numbers of mortgages to people who can't afford them on properties which are diminishing in value.
It's the so-called subprime situation, yes.
The subprime
market.
Yes. How does that work, in fact?
Well, imagine, if you can, say, an unemployed black man sitting on a crumbling porch somewhere in Alabama in his string vest, and a chap comes along and said, "Would you like to buy this house before it falls down? And why don't you let me lend you the money?"
And is this chap who says this, is he a banker?
Oh, no. He's a mortgage salesman. His income depends entirely on the number of mortgages that he can arrange.
So his judgment to arrange mortgages is completely objective?
Completely objective, yes, absolutely.
It would. Yes. And what happens next?
Well, then this debt, this mortgage, is taken, bought by a bank and packaged together on Wall Street with a lot of other similar debts.
Without going into much detail about what is actually...
Without going into any detail, no, it's far too boring. And so this is put into a package of debt, and then it's moved on to Wall Street, and it's extraordinary what happens then, that somehow this package of dodgy debts stops being a package of dodgy debts and starts being what we call a structured investment vehicle.
An SIV?
An SIV, exactly, yes.
Yes, I see. And then someone like you comes along and buys it.
I buy it, yes, and then I will ring up, I don't know, somebody in Tokyo and say, "Look, I've got this package, do you want to buy it?" And they say, "What's in it?" And I say, "I haven't got the faintest idea." And they say, "How much do you want for it?" And I say, $100 million, and then they say, "Fine, that's it." And that's the market.
And presumably this package, I mean, that kind of thing can happen several times to the same package.
Possibly, yes.
And every time it does, of course, then you or someone like you will get a fee and a markup
and a profit,
yes. And so
well, you can't expect us to do it for nothing. It's hard work.
In view of the fact that in these packages there's a lot of dodgy debt, what is it about it that attracts the financial, risk takers?
Yeah, well, because these hedge funds, as they're called, which specialize in these debts, they all have very good names.
You mean they're responsible companies?
No, I don't know. It's nothing to do with their reputation. They have actually very, very good names. The names they think up for them are very good. I'll give you an example. There's a very well-known American Wall Street firm called Bear Stearns, who have two of these hedge funds which specialize in these mortgage debts. And they lost so much money, lost so much of its value, that Bear Stearns announced that they would have to put in $3.2 billion into one of the funds to try and keep it afloat.
$3.2 billion?
3.2 billion, yes. And even then they said the investors couldn't get any money out of it and they were going to let the other fund go. But one of these funds was called the High Grade Structured Credit Strategies Fund, and the other was called the High Grade Structured Credit Enhanced Leverage Fund.
Well, that sounds very good.
That's good, isn't it? Yeah.
Sounds very trustworthy.
Actually, this is the magic of the market. What started off as lending a few $1,000s to an unemployed black man in a string vest has become a high-grade structured credit enhanced leverage fund.
I like the sound of it.
It is good. Well, it sounds very trustworthy. I mean, it's got good words in it. It's got words like high.
High is good.
High is good. Yes. Better than low, anyway, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
And structured is another good word.
Very good.
Enhanced.
I love enhanced.
Enhanced is very good.
I mean, I'd buy anything if it said enhanced.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes.
It might have been different if it said the unemployed black man in the string vest fund, but yes,
because then alarm bells might start to ring. But despite these very plausible names, surely the reality is that the people that lent all this money have been incredibly stupid.
Oh, no. The reality is that what was stupid is, for some point, somebody asked how much money these houses were actually worth. I mean, if they hadn't bothered to ask that question, then everything would have gone on as perfectly normal. But unfortunately, they did.